Good morning. Welcome to Friday mornings, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist, here with some words of wisdom for you. And I just have to say, I think there's something really whacked about spending time doing my hair, then coming downstairs, putting on the headband and the hood and going out into the 20 plus degrees weather. Yeah, you end up looking kind of like, I don't know what, a mop. Anywho, we have a cool card today because I'm going to use this card as an opportunity. Good morning, Mel. Glad you are here. An opportunity to talk about boundaries. And boundaries are such an important thing to talk about at this time of year because holidays and being around family can be a great opportunity for us to get our boundaries smashed to smithereens. So let's have a talk. Good morning, Holly. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. We're going to be talking about boundaries today in regard to the card that I have picked, or that picked us. And I think, again, there are no accidents. Divine right order that this card is coming up on the front end of all the holidays so that we can be in our best and healthiest selves moving into those events. So, a couple of nice deep breaths. Let it go. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, Cindy. Glad you are here. Just breathing yourself into this present moment, letting go of everything else you have to do today. I'm about to run out the door to get a headlight fixed. And let's see, I got to meet with the insurance person for my Affordable Care Act for the next year. And there's all these things on the docket. But for these 5, 10, 15 minutes, however long I yak at you, let it go. I'm letting it go. This is where I am right here, right now. And this is my mission right now, is being of service in this way. So our card comes from the Virtues Reflection cards by the Virtues Project. And the subtitle is a set of 100 contemplative cards to help you awaken your spirit and live by your deepest values. And I think the cool thing about talking about this stuff is it helps you even begin to recognize what your values are. They're there, they're operational, but we don't always have enough conscious awareness of them to be able to say, these are the things that are most important to me. All right, so here is our one for today. Service. Service. So let's see what it has to say, and then you're going to have to listen to what I have to say. Service. Using our gifts to be of service is the fullest expression of our lives. Each day we find a multitude of ways to be useful. Whatever we may achieve, the quality of our own life comes from the quality of our contribution. First and foremost, we serve our loved ones. We notice what others need, discover their wishes, and respond helpfully. We don't wait to be asked. A spirit of service invests whatever we do with excellence. We give our very best effort. People who want to be of service can change the world. Good morning, Beth. Glad you are here. So, before I read the back part of that, let me talk a little bit about that. Some of you already can feel that slippery slope, can't you? The boundaryless helpers. And remember Anne Lamott's quote about helping. Help is the sunny side of control. Help is the sunny side of control. We all know those people. Here, let me help you with that. And you know they're going to take over because they don't think you're doing it the right way, etc., 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 right? So being of service, we need to be discerning about how we go about that. Help isn't always appreciated. People who struggle with things, whether it's someone who's older, whether it's someone who has a disability, whatever it is, someone who's experiencing homelessness, us sticking our nose in may not be in the highest and best good for that person. Sometimes, for an older person to keep their skills, sometimes they need to struggle with something. And us jumping in, and I'm guilty of this. I'm totally guilty of this. So my dad just took off to go visit my sister, and he comes back in the house to get his phone, which he had forgotten, and said that the tire light was on in the car. And so I said, did you check it? Do you need a gauge? Nope, I got it. And off he went. Now, I could stick my nose in there, but I'm going to have faith and trust that when he goes to the warehouse to pick up some other stuff to take down to her. He's actually going to check the tire pressure and add air to it. Because we all know by the time the light goes off, you're getting there. You need to be doing something now or you're going to have a blowout. So, again, when does one step in? When does one allow? With the holidays. Good morning, Helen. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. We're up to 10 people already. Wow. So those of you who all slipped past me as I was talking, welcome. Glad you're here. Today, my focus is boundaries. The card's focus is service. They coexist. They coexist. We all know that family member, the martyr, who pours typically herself, sometimes a himself, but mostly a herself, into doing everything for everybody, and you can feel the anger simmering below the surface. Good morning, Diane. Welcome, welcome. You can feel that anger simmering below the surface. Here I am doing everything, nobody's helping, blah, blah, blah. But they've taken it upon themselves to do it that way. And there are multiple ways to do it, including asking others to contribute. So that's what we're doing this Thanksgiving. Yes, help is the sunny side of control. Wow. Yes, if you haven't read any of Anne Lamott's books, get them. Traveling Mercies, Operating Instructions. She's got amazing books, and she tells it like it is. And she gives insights like that. Help is the sunny side of control. When we're volunteering to help somebody, we have to look at our own motives for doing so. If your motive is, I can do it so much better than they can, back off. Back off. That is not where you belong. If, on the other hand, many hands make the task light. Good morning, Bev. Glad you are here. Many hands make the task light. That's a different approach. So it's not so much the behavior of service itself, it's the intentions behind that service. If your purpose for being of service is so that you can have accolades and everybody can be owing to you and aren't you wonderful because you do all this stuff, that's probably not the greatest motivation for being of service. If, on the other hand, and I'm going to read right now the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. quote that's on this card, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. So there's your benchmark. If you weigh the service you're about to provide on that, I am doing this with a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love, have at it. Go ahead and be of service. If you're being of service because nobody else can do it as well as you can, because nobody's going to pick up the ball and it's going to fall in your lap anyway, poor you, those are not good reasons to be doing something. Not good reasons at all. Okay? And some of you are going to have a hard time hearing this. You know, the first time I read that quote, help is the sunny side of control, I thought, oh my God, my career is being a coach and psychologist. That's pretty interesting, isn't it, when you think about that help factor? And oftentimes, the most successful sessions I've had over the course of 35 years of doing this stuff is when I shut my mouth and listen. And people will say, you were so helpful to me. Yeah, I said about 3 words, which was exactly the right number of words to say. Shut up, shut up, shut up. And for those of you who struggle, especially if someone's talking about difficult stuff. So last night I did a session with someone who had just broken off a relationship and she was grieving. For the most part, again, I listened. People can work their way through myriad things. They don't need our advice. They really don't need our advice. Occasionally, we might need to point something out that we can see they're missing if we're invited to do so or if we ask permission. You know, I'm noticing something. Would you mind if I gave you some feedback? If they say not interested, shut up. And Carolyn says, setting boundaries for herself, not just for other people. Yes, 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 yes. What am I willing to do with a gladdened heart? When it starts crossing over into, I'm feeling pushed to do something, or I don't want to do that, but I feel like I have to, you're treading on thin ice. You're treading on thin ice. So one way to go about it is state what you will do right from the get-go. So let's say it's Thanksgiving dinner. I'll make the turkey the day before and have it reheated and ready to go. That's what I'm willing to do. What about the rest of you? Someone else might say, well, I wanted to make the turkey. If you're okay with that, pass it off. Fine, you make the turkey, I'll make the dressing. If you're not fine with that, if you feel like that might be just kind of a power play on someone's part, you can come up with creative ideas. Okay, so how can we solve this? How about if I make the turkey this year, you make the turkey next year? How about if I make the turkey for Thanksgiving, you make the ham for Christmas? Whatever it's going to be, there's multiple ways to work this stuff out. And the beauty of it is those ways will be much clearer to you when you're not in a power struggle. When you're not digging in your heels about it has to be this way or it's always been this way, etc. Much easier, again, much easier to be of service when you're letting go of outcomes. So we've been working on that with our God jars, right? Putting in the things over which we don't have control, the outcomes over which we don't have control. I've been loading that baby up lately. It's getting pretty full. One of these days I may have to go through it and take out the things that have been taken care of, thank you, Spirit, to make room for more of the things that are still up in the air. But even that acknowledgement that I am releasing control, I'm letting go of outcomes, however this goes, it goes. And the boundary part of that is we must discern for ourselves. Morning, Joe. Welcome. Where our boundaries are. And one of the things I would like to suggest to you with regard to boundaries is look at your comfort level. Because again, we tend to slam boundaries in place based on what we're going to be comfortable with. And we've talked about how we've overvalued comfort, right? So it may be more of, I am willing to be this uncomfortable with regard to boundaries. I will set a boundary. I'm going to give a little more latitude here than I'm comfortable with just to open up the space a bit and see what happens. So the person I was talking to last night who ended a relationship, that was part of the process of that relationship. There was an aspect she was uncomfortable with, but she could see that there was potential for that to be modified. So she was willing to give it a little rope and see if it hung itself. Unfortunately, it did. But as she said, I don't regret having done that because at the juncture where I made that decision, when I'm standing at the crossroads and there's this path and this path still looked viable. On the front end, it still looked viable, right? Once into the path, you get down the road a ways and you go, yeah, this isn't happening. It isn't happening. I'm not seeing it, okay? Then you make the choice that's in your highest and best good, and by association, really, the choice that's in the other person's highest and best good. When you take good care of yourself, you are de facto taking good care of others, all right? Hang on to that idea, all right? Because for women especially, we've been taught, give, give, give till you're so depleted you can barely function, right? No. When you take good care of yourself, you are by default taking good care of others. Good morning, Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. All right, so now we're going to do the I statements that go along with this practice of service. And listen with the intuitive part of yourself. I'll read each one of them twice and see if there's one of them that jives for you in terms of, yeah, that's the one I want to hang on to for my mantra today. The practice of service. I look for opportunities to be useful. I look for opportunities to be useful. I work with wholehearted enthusiasm. Do you come to the table with all of your gifts, or are you holding back a bit? I work with wholehearted enthusiasm. I do thoughtful things for my family and friends. I had a thought today. I'm going to send a certain person a card. Haven't had communication in a while, and it's always fun to get mail. So I do thoughtful things for my family and friends. I don't wait to be asked when something needs doing. Now, on that one, Again, there's a fine line to walk. We're making assumptions about what needs to be done. Sometimes it behooves us to ask, would you like me to rake the leaves? Would you like me to sweep off the front stoop? Would you like me to? Asking. And with some people, like my father, you're never going to get a yes. Yeah, please do that for me. Never going to get a yes. So with him, I might just do some things, working hard not to be intrusive with the things that I choose to do. Okay? I give freely of my time and attention. And the underpinnings of that, I think, can be that idea that when we do for others, we are really doing for ourselves also. And what we put out does come back fourfold, tenfold, whatever it was you were taught. I do for you, you do for someone else does for someone else, eventually someone does for me. And the circle's complete. All right? I give freely of my time and attention. I use my gifts to make a difference in the world. Too many people play small. Good morning, Joe. Too many people play small. And as in the amazing words of Marianne Williamson, your playing small does not serve the world. Your playing small does not serve the world. Step into your gifts. Put those gifts out there. Let the world enjoy your gifts. You enjoy your gifts in the sharing of them. So don't hold back. Don't hold back. Put it all out there. If you sing beautifully, maybe at Christmas time or Thanksgiving, you volunteer to sing. If you crochet, maybe you make something for someone that you know they'd appreciate. Whatever it is that you do, whatever your jam is, put it out there. So I was complaining yesterday, not a good habit, about something that wasn't working, and someone who had a gift that could be of use to that, which I didn't know that person had that gift, volunteered to help. I was all over that. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And somewhere down the line, I'll probably take that person brownies or something. Who knows? But using your gifts to make a difference in the world. I am thankful for the gift of service. It makes my life a prayer. Think about that. Think about your life as a prayer. That's such a cool concept, isn't it? So, your mission today is to go forth and be of service to yourself, of service to others. It can be little bitty things. You hold the door for somebody, you let somebody into traffic, whatever. Okay? I'm going forth being of service, and I'm feeding my soul in doing so. And I'm not overextending myself beyond what I am capable of and willing to do. I do just the right amount for me. All right? That is your mission. Also, just wanted to remind you again, my Black Friday coaching specials, I've been getting some inquiries about that. One of the things that I didn't set up, because I don't have my Marlo anymore, who knows all this stuff and sets it up really well, I just kind of mimicked what I could see that she had done, and I'm not as gifted as that in the tech stuff as she was. So I've set them up as full, the sale price. The higher ticket items, there's payment plans. I've got payment plans. Just reach out to me. If you look on my website, empowermentandpurpose.com, under the event tabs, you'll find the Black Friday specials, private coaching with me. You can look at those, and if you go, ooh, I really like that one, but I don't think I could pay for it in one fell swoop. I could probably do 2 payments or 3 payments or 4 payments or whatever. Reach out to me. Send me a text message, send me an email, whatever, put a private message on Facebook, and we'll have a chat about it. All right? Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are, including having healthy, lovely boundaries. Bye-bye.